morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2016 Century and Bicentennial Farm Awards program at the 100th Pennsylvania Farm Show. I'm Doug Wolfgang, the Director of the Bureau of Farmland Preservation. Thank you for joining us today. The Century and Bicentennial Farm program recognizes farms that have been in the same family for 100 and 200 years. The program showcases the strength and the durability of the Pennsylvania farm family. The Commonwealth has a rich agrarian heritage which is interwoven in the fabric of our culture and is evident throughout this farm show complex with over 500,000 visitors each year. At the heart of Pennsylvania agriculture is the family farm. Today, we pay tribute to 14 families who have persevered through both prosperous and tumultuous times of our nation's history, including the Civil War, the Great Depression, 2 world wars, up to the recent recession, and everything in between. All the while feeding a growing population that has always and will always rely on a safe and abundant food supply. During the past 200 years, the way we farm may have changed dramatically, but devotion to the land, a strong work ethic, and love of family have endured. Behind each farm is a unique and compelling story. The families here today represent the best of Pennsylvania agriculture. So a bit of history. In 1949, the Bradford County Historical Society initiated the first Century Farm program in Pennsylvania. Then in 1976, the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture adopted the Society's model to use statewide. It's a pleasure and an honor to introduce the Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding. And I know this is a special event for the Secretary as it combines 3 things that I know are very passionate and dear to him: agriculture, history, and family. Secretary?
Doug, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Great to see you. Welcome to the 100th Pennsylvania Farm Show, our Blue Ribbon experience. We are very honored to host this show for the public, for you. I can tell you that there is not another event as packed as the 8 days are, that there's not another event that reinforces the value of the industry and the importance of this show than our opportunity today to recognize Century and Bicentennial Farms. To think that 11 of you families were here and farming at the time of our first farm show, right? And 3 of you, 100 years before there was even a consideration of a farm show, you were in Pennsylvania and farming, which I think is an amazing testament both to each family and certainly to this industry. As Doug has noted, there's a lot that has changed over the course of time. But over that 100 years, you have persevered, both in the year to year and the challenges of staying in this business of agriculture, but also you've persevered in moving the farm from one generation to the other. And I applaud you for that. That's not easy to do. To make sure that these family farms have stayed in the family over that time, have taken a very intentional action by each of you, your parents, grandparents, and back even further. Very intentional action. So while we celebrate today the Century and Bicentennial, we're really here celebrating the actions of your ancestors and your family over the course of 100 or 200 years.
Next up, from Union County, we have the Frock Boyer family farm, which was originally purchased on July 29, 1802. 57 of the original acres are still in use, and this farm was bought for a whopping $10.59 per acre. Henry Frock Sr. had 1 son. The younger Henry stayed on the farm. His name was Henry Frock Jr. The farm is currently a grain and hay operation. Faith Boyer Breininger and her husband Ty Breininger currently live on the farm full-time, and Faith is a direct descendant of Henry Frock Sr. Union County is home to 5 Bicentennial and 31 Century farms.
Good morning, everybody. And the Senate of Pennsylvania obviously likes to recognize significant events like this, and we have a citation from the Senate of Pennsylvania, which I'm not going to bother to read, but it congratulates this family for having this farm in the same family for a period of 200 years. Personally, I feel like I've hit a triple play here today because I represent Bradford County, and the very first Century Farm program started in Bradford County. We have the Bicentennial 200-year farm from Union County, and I also have another farm from Lycoming County. So with those three things, that's 3/5 of my all the counties in my district. So I'd like to congratulate the family. We're here at the 100th anniversary of the Pennsylvania Farm Show, and I'm with Gary Boyer, whose farm has been given an award for being in the same family for 200 years. Gary, tell me a little bit about the farm.
Well, the farm's located in Union County, Limestone Township. It consists now of roughly 60 acres. At one time, in the 1700s, it was 380 some acres, but it's got split up between different families. We have it traced back. It's been in our immediate family since 1802.
My understanding is it's going to stay the family farm.
My daughter and her husband bought the farm,
and they have kids.
and they have my 3 grandchildren are here.
And
They're arguing over who's going to get the farm for the next generation.
Already?
Already.
Well, I asked them whether they were going to stay on the farm, and all of them said yes. So
Yeah.
I guess it'll be one of the three.
I built a house on the corner of the farm in 1978, so I'm still there. I haven't gone very far. My father was born and raised there. My grandfather was born and raised there. So I want to stay in the family.
Well, that's a great family story, and you can be very proud of it that it's been in your family that long.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to talk to you.
Next up, Lycoming County, which is receiving a Century Farm Award. Joan's great-great-great-grandfather, Henry Mostetler, purchased the farm on April 3rd, 1838 for $1,200. 109 acres of the original tract are still in use today. The original home, built in 1838 and added onto as the family grew, remains standing and in use today. The farm was a sheep and steer operation at one time, and today the family continues to till the land, producing a variety of agricultural products. Lycoming County is home of 1 Bicentennial and 62 Century farms.
I'm with the members of the Dice family, who obviously were a Century Farm awardee today here at the Farm Show. And Jeff, what do you think about this? I mean, what brought this about?
Well, it's a great honor to be recognized by the state of Pennsylvania. And really, it's a great honor for our family. Like I said, when I accepted the award in 1838, Joan's family came to the farm and started a legacy there that we've been proud to be a part of that history.
As I indicated, I know this farm very well. I have driven by it virtually all my life, and it's in the Quaker Hill area. What I always knew as Quaker Hill, what my dad referred to it as Quaker Hill. So the farm is still operating?
It is. Currently, it's leased to the Ulmers, the dairy farmers in the area, and they grow all the agricultural crops to support a local dairy farm.
How many acres are still being used?
There's 114 total, probably 60 plus that are in cultivation.
What's the plan with your family? I know you have a large contingent here today. Is this farm going to stay in the family?
Well, we certainly hope so. The folks that came today represent our extended family and our immediate family, and Joan and I hope that we can transition the farm to our children at some point in the future.
Who was the original owner that bought this farm? I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, it was Henry Mostetler, and he came to the United States and entered the country somewhere in the Philadelphia area, and then moved to Lycoming County, where they started their farming operation.
And that was your relatives?
It was, yes.
And how far back? What relatives?
Well, let's see. We live in the house where my great and great grandfather lived. There's
Farther back than I can think of.
my grandfather built another house on the farm when he was married, and my mother grew up there. This is where the farm we went to visit my grandparents. And then my mom and father owned the farm and then passed it on to us.
And that's just a great legacy, and I understand that. I have the opportunity to own what was my grandfather's farm, so I understand when you go back and you think about all the people that were there preceding you. It's kind of mind-boggling, but it's also very
humbling.
It's very humbling.
Great honor.
It's exactly. Thank you. I really appreciate it, and congratulations on your award today.
Thanks for taking your time today.
You're welcome. I'm with a couple of people from Bradford County who have an awful lot to do with the Century Farm program. Henry, tell me about it.
Okay, Bradford County Historical Society is one of the oldest historical societies in the state of Pennsylvania. We were founded in 1870.
You are the president.
I am the president. I've been with the society for 26 years. In 1949, being an agricultural county, our society saw the need to preserve the history of our farms. And so in conjunction with New York State, Leo Wilt, who was the director of our society at the time, worked with New York State to institute the program. And in 1950, we gave out the first 5 Century Farm Awards in the state of Pennsylvania.
Looking at this today and seeing the number of farms that were involved in this program, and how long, and 200 years for several of them, what's your feeling about what started in Bradford County?
It's amazing how far it's spread throughout Pennsylvania and how important a lot of the family farms are in Pennsylvania, just because of the honor, I guess, that we gave to them many years ago.
Well, as the sign says, I mean, that's something for the Historical Society to be very proud of. I'm sure you are.
We're very proud of it, and as Matt said, we still do issue Century Farms for the county because that helps our farm residents do their application for the state designation, so we can get them there faster.
Well, as I said when I introduced or talked about the one farm that we had, today was quite a day for me. I had a triple. I mean, with Bradford County being involved in the initial part of getting this whole program started, and a Century farm from Lycoming County and a 200-year farm from Union County. So it's been quite an important day here at the farm show for the 23rd Senatorial District, that's for sure.